though it didn't matter for either of us whether we won or not. Semifinals coming up. QB Turtle. Who did QB Turtle play against? Against Goyo, so I guess I can't ask Dr. Worm what he is playing. Yeah, and we also didn't face QB Turtle yet, so I guess it has to be a surprise. Is it Delver is what MTG Goldfish says though, so we might just have the same 50-minute slugfest that I just promised Dr. Worm. Yeah, is it Delver? Yeah, so might have this matchup again anyways. Hand's slightly awkward, but I guess it has to be a keep. At least that's a huge upside if you're on multiple Thraben Inspectors. You can end up ignoring Ninja of the Deep Hour sometimes. That you let them hit you once by putting it onto the board, and then you have enough 1/2s on the board that you can just double or triple block the Ninja. Not even certain about this turn 1 land drop. It's possible I should have just Windscarred Cracked instead. Guess it works out for me here. I just wanted to develop these quickly for exactly that reason, so if turn 2 Ninja comes down, I'm better set up to deal with that. Dr. Worm, thank you for your subscription. Sorry for timing you out in our match, but it was pretty sweet, the match overall. Pretty happy with how those games went. Okay, well, this makes my Palace Sentinels worse, but it feels like I'm behind enough on the draw that I don't want to slam this on turn 4. It makes my turn 3 a lot better if I go turn 3 Ancient Den, play a bunch of spells, and turn 4 I develop this tapped land, but it makes my turn 4 worse. Basically I have to decide which turn I want to develop the tapped land, either turn 2 to have a very good turn 4, or the other way around basically. Matrix is even in the business of thanking my subscribers, but yeah, thanks a lot for sure. I guess I have to up this sub counter towards the inevitable 24-hour stream. There we go. Yeah, thanks a lot. So yeah, this board is already cluttered enough that if they ever want to connect with the Ninja multiple times, they have to start pointing Scrats and Lightning Bolts at Thraben Inspector, so that's a pretty favorable spot to be in. But yeah, the first Ninja hit is always something that you have a difficult time preventing, or somewhere between difficult and impossible. So yeah, then I'm just jamming this Inspector and then passing the turn, I guess, to set up to sack Clue. That seems better than running out Inspector, because I don't have a target for a Galvanic Blast here, so floating that red mana seems kinda... Who called the cops? Yeah, they're coming in gangs here. Yeah, easiest triple block of my life. And then if they double bolt, I'm still fine with that. There's no way for my opponent to come out of this favorably, I think. Double bolt and kill all 3 of my creatures is probably the best exchange for them. But yeah, I think that should still be fine. Sure. Because you're still killing some very low impact creatures that have already generated value with your spot removal spells, so though counterspell being represented here is still pretty scary. So I might end up having to Galvanic Blast this after all. Yeah, I didn't want to Galvanic Blast it on my opponent's turn to run into the Spell Stutter. Now I guess I will deal with the Spell Stutter. It's not that great for me either. I can let them counter this and then kill the Ninja. which better protects me against counters well next turn. They still have Fairy Miscreant in their hand that I know about. But the downside is, like, if they have another ninja, it's much worse for me because they just bounce this to their hand again and I'm in trouble. If they have counterspell, it's much better for me because if I bolt this Spellstutter and then rely on jump blocking this, I'll be behind on the board for multiple turns. Yeah, I think it's fine killing the ninja. I already have enough card advantage that I don't really care about the Frame Inspector itself. Probably better to sack a clue here than get up to 5 mana next turn. I don't really see what I'm... I guess that was what I'm doing with 5 mana, though. I can still do that, like Glint Hawk, bounce this, replay Palace Sentinels. Yeah, this seems safer. So yeah, no ninja here, I'm in a pretty decent spot, sure. Well, my Palace Sentinels are pretty awkward, they just steal it back and I'm in trouble. So, probably not even worth doing. Kinda need to find my Electricity or something. But yeah, if they're not generating like a permanent advantage with their combat, then it's much more easy for me to sit around and build up card advantage here and then slowly get back onto the board. If they were hitting me with the ninja every turn, I would be in much more trouble. Still in a little bit of trouble, of course. Because like a go white board is pretty difficult for me to deal with a 1-for-1 removal. Well, there we go, that was exactly the card that I asked for. And guess if we run into Spellstutter here, that would be great for us. Counterspell. Sure, then I'm still Electricity most likely before they have another counterspell open. Or ninja any of these two back. Bujuka blocking their grave doesn't really have any value to me. Okay. They're flooding out pretty badly also, that is very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I can protect the Monarch from being stolen with my Prismatic Strands, so that seems very valuable. Also, if they scrap my Palace Sentinels, I can just Prismatic Strands to keep it alive. Also had this Vial, of course, to prevent any attacks from coming in. Well, they're almost out of cards, so unless they find Gush or Ninja here soon, we can probably outvalue them. No, I didn't want them to have double blue open again, Mr. Duct Tape. But like, there's definitely upsides to waiting, but I would have either waited much longer than to their upkeep, just to be able to catch like a second Fairy Miscreant or a Delver or something, in addition to what they had on board. Or I would have done it right away, because they only had a single blue open, so counterspell on my Electricity was not a possibility. Okay, this feels pretty nice. Their last card in hand is likely like a Lightning Bolt or a Scrat. Or just a land, of course, but those are like the most likely spells for them to have. They might go for like a suicidal attack into my board, which I want to let them make, because I get rid of the Delver this way. Trade my Prismatic Strands for Delver. I think that's better than preventing the attack. We win! Nice. Was pretty worried there for quite a while, but I guess drawing your one-off that is specifically for the matchup is pretty helpful. So I think we wanted to cut this, we agreed on, and these Prismatic Strands are pretty medium. Then some number of Palace Sentinels, though we weren't certain which number. I think like 1 at least. And then like Pyroblast are coming in. And Electricity I wasn't sure about whether I wanted to bring them in or not. And then Reaping the Graves also seems pretty nice. And yeah, Electricity, you can either board them in or board them out. It very much depends on how your opponent approaches the matchup, what card they are bringing in or bringing out. Same thing for, no, I guess Journey is always pretty nice. Yeah, I think I'm bringing them in the dark. Though that might end up backfiring against some sideboard configurations, and I think I cut like 2 of these, right? Because they're not really efficient blockers, and they open yourself up to getting spell stuttered a lot more. Like 1 mana sorceries are pretty iffy. 1 mana instants are decent, especially because all of these 1 mana instants allow you to shoot down their spell stutter to protect each other. Yeah, I mean 4 of these are bounce lands, and also like all of these draw an extra card. So I think the mana base is pretty decent this way. Also, just like even if you miss your 3rd or 4th land drop a few times, if you're trading these 15 1 mana cards for their like 21 mana cards in like a 1-for-1 ratio, then you end up flooding out at some point, because neither of us really has a lot of ways to gain an advantage. Wait, I have all the Electric Rays in my... Yeah, I did do that. I have all the Electric Rays in my main deck. Still number 1. Yeah, Ken Ziki, get on that. You can't just let Goblin Master own you like that. So yeah, I'm not certain how good Electricity ends up being. That very much depends on what my opponent's doing with their like Delvers and Fairy Miscreants, which they could potentially cut some number of. Also, Modo is like bugging me that I should be playing my cube match or something because it ends this weekend. Stop annoying me, Modo. I will play that cube match at some point. Also, it's like right behind my camera, so it keeps opening up back again. There we go. Game alert, your match has started. Wow. Okay, then there's like a million notifications built up now, reminding me that my match has started, because it was all like stockpiled in the queue behind the CubeNet notification. Magic Online at its finest. Thank you, Goblin Master. Yeah, it is missing an artifact for sure. But yeah, I do like this hand quite a bit, especially the Battle Screech. Well, let's not do that. Like, Delver feels so bad in the matchup because, like, the same way that like Standard Bearer or something is bad for me in the previous matchup, Delver kind of feels bad in this matchup because it's one of the few creatures that just enters the battlefield and doesn't do anything. Like, sometimes you can go like Delver into Counterspell and get a free win, but most of the time you're just like trading for a burn spell 1-for-1 without having any upside. And like all the other cards have like a positive effect on both sides. Like, I have all these draw card creatures and they have like spell starters and fairy miscreants and ninjas. But yeah, Delver is scary. Like, when it sticks on the board, it's pretty scary. But whenever it doesn't, like, it either free wins the game or it's awful. So, pretty strange situation. And yeah, if it ends up trading for like a Glinthawk, then it's just awful. My opponent missed their land drop, and they have Lightning Bolt revealed to Delver, but can't really cast it yet without a red source. So we'll see how that goes for them. What did they do with their partner? I assume they shuffled, if they missed their land drop afterwards. Draw us a card. Choose to shuffle, yeah. That makes some sense. They were just looking for the land. No, we're 8-0 because we won the quarterfinals. We are 8-0, 16-2, yes. No, 16-3. Because I lost in the quarterfinals also. Like, I lost in the last round of Swiss and in the quarterfinals in one game. Running this into Spell Stutter, is that good enough for me? Like, Frame Inspector, Spell Stutter, Electricity, then I have to hope they don't have Hydroblast or... Hydroblast or Dispel. Or I just run out one of the artifacts. The upside of having Frame Inspector on the board is that it sets up Battle Screech for next turn much better. Though if they have like Spell Stutter and Dispel or Spell Stutter and Hydro, it's very bad for me. I guess I'll try it. Also, that makes it so I can shoot down the Spell Stutter to potentially deny them ninjaing. Well, let's hope this goes right. Okay, perfect. There's no point in overloading it. It still has the same converted mana cost of 1, so... Yeah, okay, that worked out pretty nicely. Yeah, if this goes well, then I'm much more of a fan of this line of play over the other one. If this gets Dispelled or Hydroblasted, then I'm in huge trouble because they end up with the spells that are on the board and that enables their ninja. Okay, so I guess Lightning Bolt is now live. Gorilla Shaman, wow. Wow. That is a huge problem. No, not the artifact land. Well, now I'm in trouble. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I mean, my main deck is already configured in the best possible way to deal with Gorilla Shaman. I have like 15 terminates for it, but don't really have a lot of ways of stopping it from blowing up my artifact lands. Wow, this game went from great position to horrible in like an instant. It's not as bad as everyone says, what? Delve deep enough to know true and absolute suffering. It's funny, it said Delve in the Magic Stream chat room. Okay, there's a land that I can cast without getting wrecked, but... Still hate my position here. My Core Skyfisher just gets lightning bolted. I guess I have to play this Vial and then stop the ninja from attacking instead of developing the Core Skyfisher. Battle Screech might still do some work, but Mox Monkey definitely wrecking me here. Cast land, what? Shouldn't have attacked. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, probably that's correct. So that they can ninja with their Gorilla Shaman, but I thought they would just like Lightning Bolt my Threadman Inspector and enable ninja. Yeah, exactly. Like they did this turn. That was going to be the same thing that... Oh no, they're just getting 1 damage in. Sure. Augur. Yeah, getting double Stone Rain for 3 mana was quite the blowout. This Battle Screech has to do quite a bit of work. Though I guess killing my opponent's Gorilla Shaman while they're tapped out would already help me stabilize my mana situation quite a bit. Sure. And I guess a Vial to stop the ninja is once again better than playing a Core Skyfisher into Lightning Bolt. I guess they just Lightning Bolted, but they could still easily have another Scred or Lightning Bolt, so I understand that it could be better. I hope that is... well, okay, and that's too much text for me while I'm trying to win in semifinals, sorry. Chat, you can entertain yourselves, right? Like from Futurama? What the hell? It's pretty much that's going on. Yeah, I agree with you, Louis Neal. For sure, like Gorilla Shaman is always the one you want to be on the good side of the Gorilla Shaman, not on its bad side. Günther from good future. No, not another Gorilla Shaman. No. I mean, I can electric create, but it once again just got rid of my land pretty favorably. I guess I'm boarding out an artifact land and keeping in the Bojuka bug, if this is the case. But there's not much more I can do about it. I just have to hope they don't drag me with it. This sideboarding plan seems a lot more painful than whatever happened to us in the previous match. So I'm not certain if they actually sideboarded differently or if they just like drew better for the circumstances. I don't know. All I know is that I'm getting wrecked. Well, we're still hanging on. Get to build a board here, stop the ninja from hitting me, and then if I ever get to bet a screech it up, I should be in a decent position. Yeah, I mean, they had 3 mana destroy 2 lands also, which was even more of a blowout. Lightning bolt, sure, and they're flooding out, so that part of it is good. Sure. Land, untapped, yes. I guess I should have said white source specifically. Okay, could be in business. Don't counterspell me. Well, I'll go to 7. I mean, they're empty-handed now. Could still be fine. But yeah, Preordain, quite the nice top deck when you're empty-handed. God damn it. Okay. Well, I guess you can't always run good. Also, I think all my electric is already gone, which would be the best comeback mechanic here. Well, and better speech, of course, but feels bad, man. Definitely electric is still good against how my opponent sideboarded. They also kept all of their Delvers in the deck, so that makes it even better. Oh, I'm dead. The counterspell into 0 cards in hand, Preordain into counterspell. Feels bad, man. Reaping the Grave gets worse if I'm facing like a bunch of land destruction. But yeah, I think I bring in this and cut like a Great Furnace, though not much difference. Like, I can't really afford to do any more changes to my mana configuration. And then not sure what else I can do. Standard Bearer doesn't actually help in any way. And Pillar Sentinels are still pretty awkward. I can put these Frame Inspectors back into my deck, just to smooth out my draws in the early game and draw out of like land destruction. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just want to utilize being on the play and then still have these in the deck for... Because otherwise, how am I really winning, right? Like, we are trading 1-for-1 a bunch, but I need some kind of card advantage still. Otherwise, I just flood out. No, probably it's correct to do like this. And just don't take the risk of giving them the Monarch. But I might end up flooding out with this sideboard plan. It does reduce my vulnerability to land destruction though, because I don't need to go as high on the curve. God damn. Yeah, I think it's a keep, but very easy to go wrong here. I need the red source pretty much right away. Also, Ancient Den as my white source feels bad, man. I think I run this out so that I can play like a 2-mana artifact on turn 2 if I draw one. Yeah, hoping they don't have Gorilla, or having Gorilla when they're already behind on the board. Both of those are like reasonable things to hope for. As I said, the matchup is pretty snowbally. Whoever starts generating an advantage first usually ends up winning. There's not a lot of comeback mechanics. Well, now I kind of need an Electricity already. Or, yeah, I guess cycling Artifact already helps me a little bit. So that my Glinthawk can do something for value. But still, like, they can just bolt my Glinthawk and I'm pretty far behind on the board at that point. Yeah, that was quite a good opening by my opponent. Electricity. Definitely looking for that Electricity. Snow-covered island and not bolting my... Okay, not bolting my Glinthawk I'm happy with. And if they spell stutter this, I have to Pyroblast it, I guess. Wow, that is pretty decent. I can bounce land, return this artifact land so that they can't Mox Monkey it. Yeah, this draw I'm pretty much... Like, Mox Monkey isn't even that great against my deck. It was just that my previous draw matched up super poorly against it. Like, I have 6 artifact lands in my deck, and I drew 3 of them in my top 12 cards or something. That's just not going to happen as often. And if I had drawn like 1 or 2 less, it was just not going to be a big of a deal. So yeah, these kinds of draws where you just have like a single artifact land and you can even keep it off of the board for a long time, these also happen very frequently. So I don't think Mox Monkey is even much of a concern, but it has like a high variance random payoff that it can sometimes free win a game if I'm drawing too many artifact lands. Delver, sure. I guess I'll fight over that on my turn. They're still not bolting my Glinthawk in any way. Also, did they get... Oh no, they got their red source in hand now, but decided not to play anything red. No, I should have cycled this though. That was not smart. Cycling it seemed favorable to me. No, I don't want to bolt EOT because bolt EOT I run into Spell Stutter Sprite, and if I bolt main phase I get to counter the Spell Stutter Sprite with Pyroblast, so that seems better. Yeah, I don't like... Against counterspell it's fine to bolt end of turn, against Spell Stutter is pretty bad. So I wanted to avoid that from happening. I should have cycled end of turn though, because that was kind of free and I already have enough mana available to me here. Even if they do Mox Monkey my Ancient Den now, I still end up with a reasonable amount of mana to work with. So I guess I'm going to do that at this end of turn, if given the opportunity. Yeah, I guess that resolves. Preordained, sure. Cycle this. That is a lot of Galvanic Blasts, that's for sure. Cycle this. Well, Mox Monkey is approaching the phase where it becomes useful again, though. Even now I can kind of expand these 2 lands. I don't even need them that badly. And I'm doing decent in the card advantage fight actually. So I haven't gotten hit by a ninja yet. They haven't cast Gush yet, though they might at some point. Yeah, and somehow they haven't killed my Glinthawk, which seems pretty strange. I guess their hand is just stocked with a bunch of counterspells. They have played in a way that they represented counterspell for quite a while. It is a stacked hand, though it's stacked with cards that are kind of mediocre. Like, I would much rather have it stacked with, like, Electricity. It's like Galvanic Blasting Fairy Miscreant's not really that great of a plan. I'm 5 damage away from killing them, I guess. But I'm not really in a great situation to raise. We'll see. We'll see what their Gush comes up with. Yeah, that was what I had feared was going to happen. Yeah, I guess I'll fight over it now. And now they just counterspell back and then it... What? Okay, they're super afraid of whatever I can be casting, and I'm not even sure what is good enough in my deck for this not to be worth countering. Pretty happy about this turn of events. Oh, well, never mind. I mean, still pretty happy that it happened that way, but would have probably been worse for me if they had countered. Yeah, sure. Kinda need more flyers, even to get them countered. Because, like, if they counter my flyers, then I can Reaping the Gravestem back. If I have, like, no creatures to present them with, then I end up just sitting around doing nothing. Afraid of yeah, but Sentinels, like, they're just attacking with all 3 Fairy Miscreants and they steal my Monarch. I don't know. I guess that's the explanation, that they're afraid of Sentinels. But I don't think it's correct for them to be afraid of it, necessarily. Like, if they have Stormbound Geist and 3 of these on the board, it's pretty difficult for me to keep Monarch. Because I have to spend 4 of my 6 mana on becoming the Monarch. And with my hand, it actually feels kind of reasonable to raise them. Though I guess they will still have some amount of counter magic left over for my burn spells. Though I almost have them in range of, like, killing them. Yeah, I could burn and then have Palace Sentinels afterwards for sure. But if I'm pointing like 4 burn spells at 4 random 1/1s, that would also still work out for my opponent. I don't know, that felt unnecessarily paranoid to not counterspell there. Like, either you should be counterspelling or you shouldn't be casting your Stormbound guys. If you're that afraid that you don't fight over Stormbound guys, then what are you really doing tapping out for that? I think then it's just a much smarter idea to wait another turn on that and keep counterspell open without throwing away your Stormbound guys. See if they fight over this. They don't. If I put them to 13, does it help? Not that much. It only makes them more suspicious. If I, like, block this from blocking and then get more damage in. That seems unnecessarily, like, giving away what I'm trying to do here. Because getting them to 12 actually has some value, so that 1 less spell is necessary. Yeah, I want to overload their mana for sure. Well, like, I was going to try to overload their mana this turn because some of it was already tapped. Not sure if we were referring to the same turn. So... Putting them to 11 is also pretty useful. Yeah, I think I'm going for that now. Though that makes them more suspicious of my Glintalk for sure. Flood. Yeah, they are definitely flooded. I'm also kind of flooded. Yeah, that's pretty interesting spot. I think I want to wait on like my lethal attempt until they tap some amount of mana. I'm still doing fine in the race, right? They only have a single red available, so they can never like triple lightning bolt to burn me out or something. Ninja, yeah, yes, Ninja. I think I'm going to let them recast their Fairy Miscreant also. Yeah. And then maybe they cast like, I mean, I'm letting them draw some more, but maybe they cast like a Ponder or a Stormbound Geist or something random. Basically, I have to hope they don't spell stutter and counterspell me or something, or dispel and counterspell, like a bunch of random ways they can fight over this. I think I'm casting one at end of turn, and then I'm probably going to my own turn so that I can like electricity away their fairies in response to spell stutter or something, or find a pyroblast. Well, that is pretty annoying the way that it worked out. Because now my electricity, maybe I should have just cast all three on my turn to have electricity top decks. Or pyroblast. Like pyroblast is what I most want to draw here, so that I have counter backup for my attempt at winning. Electricity would be reasonable both because it scares my opponent and because it deals with spells that are sprite follow-up. Yeah, this bolt ends up being 1 point short. I can bolt these two to like scare them as well. Does that really help? Just don't want to end up being dead on board or something to my opponent's lightning bolt. Okay, I'll try. Maybe that scares them enough. No. It's a pretty awkward spot. If I let them untap, I feel like I'm just losing here. But if I don't let them untap, they will just counterspell my Galvanic Blasts anyways. God damn. Yeah. So difficult for me to make progress regardless of whether I wait or go for it now. Yeah, they do have a counter pretty much for sure. I just have to figure out what my game plan is then. It's not great. Guess I'll pass. Yeah, but I'm like losing the race now against a single counter. Only one of these Thraben Inspectors can attack, otherwise I would have made an attack with all three. Because this one always runs into the Augur of Bolas for free. If I'm attacking with both, then it ends up helping me. But this one is summoning sick. So there was no better attack for me. I could either attack with nothing, or I can only attack with this. They're attacking with nothing. Okay, that I like to see. That gives me some hope of just finding like Battle Screech or something. Okay, that's pretty decent. Yeah, I think I can set this up where I grind them out with flyers. They double block here, then they counter my core Skyfisher, and then I Reaping the Graves to win. And to win is a pretty big stretch. Might still very easily not win, but it sets up a nice advantage for me. Still keeps them under a lot of pressure. Okay. And they might like spew a Dispel on one of these because they're basically dispelling core Skyfisher or dispelling Glinthawk. And that might clear the way for Galvanic Blast winning. Otherwise I end up with more board presence in the air and can generate card advantage that way. Pretty tight game. Vesp, thank you for your follow. Okay, they let both of them resolve apparently. They could only fight over the Glinthawk. The core Skyfisher was targeted twice. Please counterspell me. Yes. Please spell stutter me. Yes! Don't daze me, bro. Don't daze me. Yes! Get fucking wrecked. Oh, that was a great game.